Hi everybody. I'm doing a special video on this Sunday just to give you an update of what's been happening in my life for the last few weeks. Hasn't been the happiest time I've encountered up here. Uh, you may be wondering why I'm not in Vietnam right now, because I didn't give a specific date, but my original intention was to be in Vietnam on the 28th of August, and that didn't occur mainly because I had issues with getting the new Vietnamese 90-day visa. It was a bit of a nightmare, and I know I'm not the only person that had problems with it. I think they've since allowed people to use the old portal online to actually do the application for that particular visa. So what happened was I just wasn't getting anywhere with it. I tried changing my name, because the biggest mistake I made was I put in just my first name and my second name in the fields, because that's what it looked as though it was asking for. But what it really wanted was my middle name as well, and that was missing. And that was enough to basically stuff up the application. And I was informed of this problem several days after doing that. Then I tried to amend the application, and I thought I'd changed the details to what they wanted, and I resubmitted the application, but it rejected again, and with the same error. Even though I'd definitely made those changes, it had reverted back to the original application I put in with them, just my first name and surname. And so therefore it rejected, so I gave up on it, and so I said, look, I'm just not going to be able to make this this deadline. So I then changed my airline tickets, the dates of that, changed my accommodation, went through a total, I had to change everything, and I actually had amended the holiday from the original 28th of August down to the 29th of September, which was less than 30 days, which was the old visa that you could apply for online, which was still working, and that was no problem. And I got that one without any hassles. But I just given up on the new one. It just wasn't going to work. I could have persevered, but I don't think it was worth it, so I just pulled the plug totally. And since then, I know that now you can get a 90-day visa on that old reliable web portal. So Vietnamese authorities have worked out that, yeah, this new one that they'd set up wasn't working, so they've now migrated to the old one, which is what I thought they were going to do anyway. I thought that's how it would have worked, because they had a working visa application, e-visa application page that didn't work. So anyway, so I went through all the hassles of changing flights and dates of accommodation and what have you, and cut my journey back to about 3 weeks, a little over 3 weeks, which isn't ideal, but it was better than nothing. And then I got another bombshell, a much bigger bombshell, on on the actual date, the initial date that I was supposed to go on, the 28th of August. That was the date that I'd been hacked into by hackers. They got into my bank accounts, but for both of my major bank accounts, they'd taken funds from my credit card. They'd had also sold shares without my permission and increased my mortgage by $20,000. So we're talking about big bucks here, a lot of money. So I've reported this incident to both of the financial institutions involved, and it's just a total nightmare. Not only that, they somehow got into my mobile number, and my mobile account is frozen. I can't use that. I don't know how that happened, but they got the data in the mobile account that I had. It was a pay-as-you-go plan, and they were able to basically just use up all my data. And I don't know what they were doing, how they actually got into my system, but they'd also stuffed that up. And on top of that, the major email address I used was also being compromised, so I can't use that either. So I'm in a world of pain right now. And on top of all that, I also contracted one of the worst colds I've had for a long time. I had one earlier this year, and I got another cold about 2 weeks ago, just when this all started, and I was sick as a dog, and I still had to get myself out of the house and go down to Cairns Central, where the major branch of one of the financial institutions is located. They don't have one in Smithfield, so I have to go all the way to Cairns and try to get things sorted, and that's been a real hassle too. I still haven't got my bank accounts working. I'm basically without any access to bank accounts at this stage, and I have received they cancelled my credit card, and they have issued me with another one which I physically picked up on last Friday. So I have got that, but I've had hassles trying to get the account reinstated, because you need a mobile number as well as an email address. So it's just been a total nightmare. So this is going to be my third trip down there tomorrow to that financial institution to get that sorted, and then while I'm down there, then I've got to go to the other financial institution where my shares are held, and inform them of what's going on as well. They've locked up the share portfolio for at least 3 weeks while I do an investigation, and the other bank has also done a similar thing with my credit card. Of course, they're doing it's not as big a deal with the other account as it is with the other one. I mean, I found out about both of these accounts about 2 or 3 days after the event. And I found out about the credit card when I tried using it on that Thursday after the initial Monday where it all happened, and I got denied, so I knew there was a problem with that account. But I found out about the other account because I've been trying to get on the internet banking for days, and it wasn't working, and I've been locked out. I found out I'd actually been locked out of my account, and so I went straight down to the bank and got that sorted, but also found out the same day that the other account had also been compromised. So I'm just really stuffed at the moment. The financial account where I've got the shares and what have you, that bank account, they've done an investigation, and I've got to get back to them with a police report. So I went down to the cop shop last Thursday. This is a week after the initial trips to the banks, so it's been dragging on a while. And I gave them. I went to the cop shop, and I was supposed to get a report number off them. Cops don't want to know about it. If it's something to do with cyber crime, they'll just give you a pamphlet which is for cyber.com.au, where you've got to basically go online and report the incident, and they'll give you a report number, but the actual cops have given me no number whatsoever, which is what the security section of that bank wanted. So it's just frustrating all round. I finally got the report done, but it took me about 3 times to do it, because they actually, when filling out that report about the cybercrime I'd been victim of, they wanted the names of the perpetrators, and I said, well, how the hell am I supposed to give you that? So I had to go through a different section to actually fill in the form. It's not a user-friendly form. None of this stuff is user-friendly. It's not. Look, I feel like I'm being treated more like a criminal than a victim, the way the system is. It's just not really helping me out much, and the banks are really difficult to deal with, and I just want to get my access to my account, because what happens to my internet connection? If I don't get a working credit card number to my internet provider, I'll be without any internet, and then I'm totally stuffed. So that's the only form of phone connection I've got at the moment. I'm going to try to get a mobile connection through one of the major outlets, either Optus or Telstra stores. It's in Cairns Central. I actually went to Coles yesterday and picked up one of their prepaid cards. It's a $20 card, so I thought that'd be okay. I wouldn't need to actually top it up or anything. But with that particular card, I discovered after buying it that you have to provide a debit number or a credit card number for ID, and neither of mine, to my knowledge, are working now because the bank accounts are frozen. So it's just a total nightmare. And I don't know what I can advise to people to avoid this. I've actually paid $550 to have a computer guy come round and clean up my major computer and provide a virus protection. I've also had the virus protection put on my laptop and everything as well. So at least I've done all I can do, but I'm not sure how they even got into got my identity theft. I don't know how this has taken place. I'm not quite sure whether it's the mobile phone's also been scanned. So I don't know. I wasn't going to get a mobile phone SIM card until I'd actually scanned my mobile phone. So I'm trying to do everything I can to minimise the exposure. But it really is a nightmare, and I just say, if anybody out there, they feel secure with their money in the banks, well, think again. Anyone can have this happen to me. I'll tell you another thing too. When I went to my main bank, which is in Smithfield, on that previous Thursday, the first contact I had with them, the guy who was sitting next to me on the couch to be served, he had also been a victim of cybercrime. He'd lost 40 grand the previous year, and he's been hit again. And there was another guy also a little later, had also been a victim of fraud. So it happens a lot. I didn't notice it so much with the other financial institution, the one in Cairns I had to go to, but the one in Smithfield, yeah, that was just a real eye-opener. So it can happen to any of you, so be very careful if you've got, I mean, it's hard to avoid online. It can be fantastic, but when it goes wrong, I've never had an issue in all the 68 years of my life here on this planet. I've never had an issue until now, and it's just a total nightmare. So just be warned. I wouldn't want this, I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. It's just horrible. It's affecting my sleep and everything, and I'm just hoping I can get things resolved next week, because I feel like I'm in quicksand, financial quicksand at the moment. I don't know, I can't see myself getting out of it. I just wish the banks had better facilities to look after people who are victims of this type of thing. I mean, they know who I am. I provide them with the ID. I've got my passport. I show that to them, so they know I'm bona fide when I go to the branches. I wish they'd find a way of just being able to get me up and running, so I can log in online and get my credit card going, so I can contact my internet providers to make sure I've still got internet, because that could be pulled from under me any time, because now the credit card that's being used to pay them is invalid. So I've got this new one, and I've got to get that validated so I can actually use the bloody thing. It's a very nice day, but I can't really enjoy it that much at the moment. I've got all this stuff to think about. It's overwhelming. So sorry for not being much of a positive video, but one thing I'll always do with my videos is be honest with you, and this is one of the toughest periods of my life right now because of all this, and I hope I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. So just be warned, everyone. Hope you found this of interest. I don't know how entertaining it is, but certainly hopefully informative, so if you could just consider giving me a thumbs up or subscribing, I'd appreciate it. Not that that's a particularly high priority at the moment. That's the other thing that's affected too, because my main computer, I had my editing program on that, and that's being wiped, and I don't know whether I'm going to be able to put that back onto my main computer. I've got it's still on my laptop, thank God, so I'll edit this video. I don't know if I really need to. I'll probably just put it on as is. But anyway, I'll yeah, I've got that problem as well. That the program I normally use to do these YouTube videos, I've only got it now on one device, and so it's whether I can find the code to actually get it on the first device, I don't know. It's just one of those unforeseen consequences when I had everything wiped from the computer, but I had to make it secure. That was top priority. Anyway, look, I hope you're having a better day than me. I've been fairly socially isolated too, so I could really do with getting out and just going down the pub and having a drink, and I might just do that the next couple of days just to feel human again. So, like I said, I hope your weekend's been better than mine, and I am getting over the cold. I guess that's the only major positive. So, yeah, but it would be really nice to have a working mobile number and finally be able to get back online and start salvaging stuff from the wreckage. Anyway, that's my update. Hope you're going well, and I'll keep you informed